Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I shown register number URK20CS3036. I'm going to explain to you experiment number 1 of operating system lab. So we'll be doing the basic Unix commands today. The first question is about showing the date, and then we'll be showing certain parts of the date by passing certain attributes. Then we'll be showing the calendar, and we'll be passing certain attributes to show certain parts of the calendar. So in this we'll be doing date, and then date alone, it will show the date and the time along with the day, and then we can have date plus %d. So it will show you the day currently, and then after that date plus %h, it will show you the month. Do the same with the year. If you put y, it will show the year. If you put t, it will show us the time. And then for calendar, put calendar alone to show us the present calendar. And then if you put calendar and then the year, if you pass it, then it shows the calendar of 2022. And then if you pass calendar and a certain month, like if I want to see June, then I can put calendar of 6 of 2021 maybe, or 2012. Then it will show me June of 2012, the calendar. That's all for question 1. Let's move on to question 2. So this is creating a directory, navigating the directory, creating 3 files and listing the files in the folder. The files in this folder. So as of now there are 3 files. Let's create a directory. So mkdir q2. So it's made a directory q2. Now let's change to that directory cd and then q2. So we move into q2. Now let's create some files. Cat of f1.txt. So then let's say this is file 1, and let's press Ctrl D, close the file. Now let's move on to the next one, cat f2.txt. so now we can put this is file 2, Ctrl D, and then cat of last file, that is f3.txt. So now file 3 is this. Good. Now Ctrl D, this also will close, and now we can list the files. Okay, that is f1 and f2 and f3.txt are listed. And then after that we can let's do it as list the files in the folder. That's all. Then we have created .txt file with a register number and the file name, and do the following, that is display the content in the file and count the number of lines, words and characters in the file. So let's create one, cat of URK20CS3036.txt, and after that let's put I am shown. Now let's save this file. Now if you just put cat then URK20CS3036.txt, it will tell us that I am Sean studying in CSE. Hope everything is alright. Now if you want to list the number of lines, words and characters, you can put wc command and then pass it with the parameter URK20CS3036.txt. so it shows us that there's 0 and 1, that is 2 lines, and then there is 10 words and 54 characters. And then let's move on to the next question, that is display the usernames of whoever has logged into the system and save it to a file called log.txt. So if you press this who, then it shows us who are there logged into the system. If you just press who, and then if we direct it to a file, let's say logs.txt, it will save all this to the file logs.txt. Now if we just view logs.txt, it will all be there. So as you can see, all the users who have logged in will be shown here. And after that, the next one, change the mode of the owner alone to execute permissions for log.txt. So in this one, logs.txt, to change permission we use chmod command. Then we give the permissions, that is there are 3 numbers that have to be given. First one is for the user, second one is for the group, and third one is for the public. So let's give it for the user 1, and then for the public and others 0, since it's on log.txt for logs.txt file. And now if we try to access log.txt, we can't, since it is already it has turned into an executable file, so permission is denied. Since now the user can only execute, 1 is for execute. If we have 2 plus 1, then it is write and execute, and if we have 4 plus 2 plus 1, it is for read, write and execute, and so on. Then now let's move to the next question. Next question is change to your home directory. Use pwd command to check that you are in the home directory. So if we press cd alone, it will take us to our home directory, and if we use pwd, tell us the present directory what it is. So it is data/20CS2036. That means it's my home directory. Now let's change back to OS directory and then cd. Okay, cd. So it moves back to that. And now we can move on to the next question, that is create a file test1.txt using vim and put the contents into it. So let's create a file catcan and then test1.txt, and the contents, let's copy it into that. So that I've copied the file now, copied the contents to the file. Let's save it, Control D. So if we hit Control D, it should save. And once saved, now the first part of the question is display all the student names who have research interest as grid computing. So if we just put grid computing and then test1.txt, it will show us that Melvin, Binu and Aaron have interest in grid computing. After that, the second part of the question is list the count of the students who have interest in image processing. Just we need the count, so then we can put grep and then -c and then image processing. So as you can see, 2 people have interest in image processing, and then display the first 2 rows and last 2 rows and store it into another file. So now we can do it as head of -2 of the file test1.txt, and then tail -2 and then test1.txt. Now we save it to the file as file test2.txt. So now these are the first 2 lines and these are the next 2 lines. They have got saved to test2.txt. And then let's move on to the next question. Perform the following file operations, that is mv-v old and new, that is we are going to be renaming the file. So first, when we have listed the files over here, these are the files that we have currently. So let's just rename one of those files using mv-v old and new. So let's rename, let's say file3.txt. I want it as mv-v file3.txt to, let's say, enter.txt. So now it has been converted to enter.txt. Now if we list it, it will be showing at enter.txt and file3.txt has gone. It has got been replaced by this. Now the next one is remove a file. So let's remove file 1, for example, rm. So now if you list it, you can see file1.txt has gone. Then we can use rm star, that is, it will remove all the files. So let's just move into q2, cd q2. Now if you see here, there are files over here, as you can see. Then if you tar, now it will say do you want to remove, because the right protected file, it asks the question. Otherwise, now if you do ls, it says there are no files left, so it removed all the files. rm-r, so that also does the same function. And we got this warning. So if we would have had this file, let's say we create another file, that is v.txt, and then we just put hi. And now in that case, if we put hi and let's switch off, close the file. So if we change the modification to such a way that v.txt, so we have made it write protected as of now, since we cannot write or read to it. In that case, now if we try reading and txt, it won't read, permission denied. Now if we want to remove a file without getting a permission, we can just put rm-f v.txt, it will be removed. If you type ls, it will be removed. Now if you want to remove all the files and subdirectories from a certain directory, let's say cd ... let's move back to practice. In this, if you want to remove all the files, for example, and all the directories, in that case we can apply rm -r and then star. So now if you just type ls, it's going to be clear. Right now we have removed all these files and folders from it. ls-name trt.txt, and in that case we just put something and close the file. So now there is a ert.txt. ls ert.txt is the only thing. Now ls ert.txt, it tells us that it is there. And now if we type ls e, that is it cannot access any file or folder is what it will say, because it doesn't exist. Otherwise it will give us a result like this. And then we get to compare file 1 and file 2. This we can do in such a way that if we type cat and then cat, let's say rty.txt and let's say astg in this file, and let's close it, and we can compare two files like ls. Now we have two files here, so cmp ert.txt and then rty.txt. If we put compare of both of these, then it is eof on ert.txt, that is it gives this as the result. If both were the same, suppose let's say we have another file like tyu.txt and it has as alone, we close this file. And then if we compare these two files, that is tyu.txt and rty.txt, tell us nothing because both the files are same, having the same content. Then let's move on to the 9th one, perform sorting of 3 files and store this sorted file in the 4th file. So let's sort 3 files. Let's take 3 files that we need, and let's take all the 3 files that we need, catenate them. That is cat. First let's do ls and let's catenate ert.txt, then rty.txt, and then tyu.txt, and then the whole thing let's sort into file 4. Let's say file 4.txt. Now if we do this command, you can see now if we ls, there is a new file 4.txt, and if we catenate file 4, like if we call open file 4.txt, it has all of the files sorted. So as you can see, as and astg and then as, so that was the order in which we had given the files and got sorted into a4. So then let's move on to the next one, that is the 10th one. Change the permission of a newly created file such that the user groups don't have access to group users, such that the group users and others don't have any access to type of access. So if in that case we can give the user full permission and the others we can block. So we have created several files, file 4 for example we have created. So let's change the permission of that, chmod and then file 4.txt. Before that, let's give the permissions, that is let's give user read permission plus write permission plus execute permission, so that will come to a total of 7. And for the others we don't have to give any kind of permission, so 0 and 0, and file 4.txt. Now if we open the file, we can still open it since the users have permission. And as you can see, the user can open it, but if some other users or the public tries to open it, they cannot open it. So this was all for experiment number 1 of OS Lab. Thank you guys for watching, hope you liked it. If you did and would like to watch more such videos, do subscribe to my channel, and see you guys in the next video.